record. Here we go. All right. Hi, Nina. I'm so glad you're here. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, and you're gonna have the whole time for you two to ask questions. So, things happen exactly how they're supposed to happen.
All the time.
Yes, absolutely. I trust the process.
If you see another Natalie C, but I'm going to put C2, it's my laptop because I'm on my mobile.
Okay, perfect.
Well.
Sounds good. So before starting, we're going to take our 3 grounding breaths just to land in the space and to relax a little bit and let go of anything that we were doing prior to this call. So you can go for a first deep inhale, bringing the air all the way into your belly. And when you can't fill it with air anymore, you bring it in your lungs and your rib cage. You hold for 3 and you let go. So first inhale. And here we are, fully grounded and present, ready to take on this day 2 of the Interdimensional Medicine Woman. Awesome. Okay, so yesterday we went over our chapter 1 and 2, so our constitution and the diagnosis, and diagnosis is also interlinked with our constitution. And today we are diving into the medicine woman, our last chapter for the 2-day masterclass. So who is the medicine woman? We keep talking about her, about this archetype, about this person, about this aspect of you that we are reawakening today, and from yesterday's session as well. So a medicine woman, this is a way of calling this part of you, but in some cultures and other places around the world, there's different ways of calling this part of you. So there's la curandera in Latin America, a shaman, a healer. There's multiple ways of naming this art and this practice and this craft. You can call yourself whatever you want as long as it resonates with you. I like medicine woman. So who is the medicine woman? She helps the world by holding space for herself and others. So here I would like you to take a moment to notice that it says to hold space for herself and not only others, because when we do have in us that call towards the medicine woman, usually we will be wanting to help and heal everyone around us. And sometimes it could be even a way of escaping and avoiding our own problems and our own things that we need to deal with. So she helps the world by holding space for herself and others. She allows you to find the clues and answers for you to heal yourself from within. She doesn't do the work for you. She doesn't heal you. She guides you through the healing journey. She teaches you the beauty of diving into your own shadow. You are feeling more patient, present, and compassionate towards yourself and others. You listen to people with great love and care, creating strong, healthy relationships and genuine encounters. Ask yourself why you feel like helping the people around you and make sure it is for the right reasons. So if you catch yourself trying to heal and help the people around you, look at what this is mirroring back at you, because this could be a great clue for something that is out of balance in your own personal life. You are now entering fall season. So this is because the medicine woman is also the archetype of September. So this is why we're talking about fall here, even though in this moment we are almost in spring. So you are entering fall season, your luteal phase in the menstrual cycle, which awakens the magical world of death, inner work, introspection, and creation. You feel inspired to create. Remember to remain humble in this journey. You are a multidimensional being, And so are your sisters. You can learn from them just like they can learn from you. Listen twice as much as you speak. So the people who are very drawn to this archetype will feel in this energy and in this part of them, in this aspect archetype of them, more than just in September and in this month. But that's a month that really amplifies this energy, even for everyone who normally doesn't feel so called by this archetype. So this is our intro about the medicine woman. And here the title says, practice what you preach, because as we were saying, the medicine woman often tends to want to heal the world and everyone around them. But our job and our role as medicine women is to practice what we preach and first apply our own medicine to ourselves and radiate that energy outside so that people can also follow by example and not only by what we tell them. So what are her healing modalities? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This is a quote from Nikola Tesla. You've probably heard it multiple times before. It's a very famous quote, especially in the spiritual community. So why is this quote so important with the healing modalities of the medicine woman? Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. We are energy, frequency, and vibration, and so are the tools and the modalities that we use to attune ourselves in the frequencies that we want in order to be balanced, aligned, healthy, and vibrant. So the medicine woman journey is working on all dimensions to learn the proper way of piloting, of driving your temple. Oftentimes we know how to operate a car or a computer or a cell phone more and better than our own bodies, but our bodies are our vehicles and what guide us and support us and transports us through this lifetime. And we should know how to care for it and how it functions more than any other tool or mode of transport that we use in this lifetime. Prevention is a key and a lifestyle in the journey of the medicine woman. So we're not looking to heal and to repair something that is broken. We are not broken, we are not sick, we are not ill or diseased. We can simply be out of balance, and the key to not getting out of balance is prevention. Prevention through energy, frequency, vibration, the connection between body, mind, and spirit, and making sure that we nurture all these aspects of our life on a daily basis. And this is just a little recap from yesterday's session on destroying the belief that there's a one-size-fits-all solution, following our constitution. So the medicine woman knows her constitution. She knows what works for her and what does not. Maybe if it works for her friend or family, doesn't mean it works for her. And starting with the basics, the easy things. So focusing on the body, on the physical, tangible, material body, before diving into the more complicated and harder things to implement in your life. So there are things that are easy to change and to switch up, and you can change immediately today that will highly help you in your journey, rather than trying to focus on some things that could take years, weeks, months to change in your life. So let's focus on those small steps that we're able to take today. So as I was saying before, we don't heal, we go back to our natural state of being, our state of balance in the beautifully engineered temple of ours. Your temple is perfect. There is no flaw in its design. It is perfect. And it is perfectly placed in an ecosystem where everything works like a Swiss clock. So when things are flowing properly, when you have everything you need in your physical, energetical body, everything should be flowing perfectly. So let's dive into some modalities from the medicine woman and see why they can help you. So sound healing, Reiki, which is also energy work, plant medicine, herbs, acupuncture, aromatherapy, breath work, Ayurveda, art therapy, zoo therapy, homeopathy, chiroplasty, and I'm skipping some here. There's way more than that. I don't know if you want to drop some in the chat that I haven't mentioned here, or if you want to mention some that you do use at the moment or that you practice yourself as a medicine woman. I'm curious to see. I know Natalie is a medicine woman, and I know that she practices something, but I don't know about Nina. Well, no, actually, I do know. I do know. I saw on her social media. Or if you want to unmute as well, because we're not a lot today, so we can for sure exchange, and it's not going to be chaotic.
There's also theta healing.
Yes, theta healing. Yes, absolutely.
Therapeutic touch is a very easy one. And what's the other one? I just had it on top of my head.
Those are good examples. And massage therapy, I didn't put it there, but that's another one. And lymphatic drainage.
And just movement alone. No, I don't know if that's on there.
It's a big one. It's a very big one. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Dancing.
It's the basics of a lot of things, actually, movement. And we're going to see it a little bit later, but it's true. It's one of the main ones. All right. So starting with what's easy. We said the body, the physical, what's tangible and that we can see in our physical reality. And when we work on body, mind, spirit, we are literally working on the Holy Trinity. So the Holy Trinity is not only a concept in religion or spirituality with the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. It's actually, so God, the soul, the initiator, the creator and inspirator, the great I am, Jesus, the body, the Word made flesh, who has made God known to the world as Father, the Holy Spirit, the channel through with which God communicates with mankind. So we do work on the Holy Trinity, and we are the Holy Trinity in this reality with our physical world, our body, our mind, and our spirit. All of us have this power within ourselves, and we're all one, we're all united. So it makes only sense that we can heal and create our own reality and regenerate our body if we want to, and if our mind steps into it. Switching to the simple things. So I gave you an example here, an example that I find very easy to understand, and it does make a whole difference. So for example, if you're eating Kraft peanut butter full of sugar and hydrogenized oil every single day, well, you can just switch it for a natural alternative where there's only one ingredient, roasted peanuts. And this tastes amazing, and eventually you'll even find that the other kind is not very good as you get used to it. And it's something that is easy to change, not so expensive. It doesn't really make a difference in price. And it won't require you to make changes on weeks and months and years. It's something that you can change now, and it will bring something in your body, a change, a positive change. So focusing on what? On the matter, on what is tangible, on the lower chakras, which are the terrestrial chakras, material chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. So having your basic needs met before jumping into anything crazy, like thousands of dollars in some holistic approaches and coaching and fancy tools and modalities. Look at the basic needs in your life. Are they met? Do you have a roof over your head and feel safe with that? Do you feel safe in your body? Are you eating as much as you would need to and want to? Do you have mineral deficiency? Are you having all your minerals, your vitamins, electrolytes? And in the food that we eat nowadays, there is not a lot of minerals and vitamins because our soils are depleted in those nutrients. Bringing some movement, as Natalie said, this is one of the most important fundamentals in your physical health and when working on the body. So there's Qigong, there's yoga, there's dance, there's the gym, and remembering to keeping it simple. Sometimes when we want to change something in our life or heal and go on a new challenge or a detox or something to feel better, we bring it to the extreme, and subscribe to the gym, a fancy gym that is expensive, and expect to go 6 times a week from 0 to 6. This is too drastic. Going for a walk is better than yesterday when you did nothing, for example. So focusing on the easy little things that don't cost much and that don't cost a lot of effort, of money, and that are easy to implement in your life. And of course, you have to focus also on your mental, spiritual, energetic world, but it's all at once and it's little by little. But of course, working on the body will allow you to do these things more easily. Okay. Yes, and so building strong foundations first and creating a safe balance and healthy container, vessel and temple for your mind and spirit to live in. Because if you think about it, our body, our physical envelope, what allows us to move through this life is what contains our spirit and our mind. So if our body is not able to retain and contain that energy properly, it just dissipates and flows everywhere. And that's when we say that we're not grounded. We're not grounded and we're not here and present and solid in our life. And this can also manifest in our lives as people who are unorganized and will see months and months passing and our goals are not being realized and met. So it can happen in so many ways on the physical, mental, and spiritual aspect. Interdimensional healing and wellness. So this is how I like to call this way of perceiving health, rather than just in the Western system where we focus solely on the body, a little bit on psychology, but it's a lot revolving around pills and external sources of help instead of looking within. So interdimensional healing and wellness, working on the body, mind, and spirit. And here I placed a little image for you so that you can see how everything is connected and our body is literally a channel and a tool to access our consciousness and universe or God. I don't know how you call it, but this great source of infinite energy that connects us all. So you see that our spine is what connects everything in our body. And we are actually created when we are fetuses from the root. This is our first energy center that is created and the first physical part of our body that is created when we're only a few cells in the womb of the mother. So this is really what connects everything in our physical, mental, and spiritual body, our body of light and energy and earth, as we could say. And you can see that each vertebra also represents something in your body. So when you go to see a chiropractor, it's not only to crack your bones, as we say, it's not even cracking, it's air that is moving, and it's a blockage that is not allowing energy, chi, to move properly through your channels, through your energy channels. So everything is connected. When you go see a chiropractor, they allow you to release stuck and blocked emotion, energy that is not in motion. And each vertebra means something. And you can see here that these organs are aligned with certain vertebrae. So an example that I love that I took from traditional Chinese medicine is the concept of Shen. So the Shen is the mind, it's your spirit, it's not something tangible, and it is housed in the heart here. So something intangible, spiritual, energetic is housed in a physical organ, in something that is tangible. So if your heart is not healthy and your heart is weak and is having a hard time doing its regular and main functions, well, your spirit and your mind can't stay there and be safe. So you see what can happen with that. This can lead to mania, dementia, depression, and mental illnesses. So yes, it all starts by a healthy body, your vessel, your temple. So in a healthy body, a healthy mind and spirit. It's not only a nice quote that we see on Instagram, it's actually the truth. We need to have a safe and healthy container for our mind and spirit to feel safe as well. So if you're struggling with some aspects of your life, whether it be financial, relationship-wise, in your love life, it could maybe even be starting from your body feeling unsafe or being out of balance. All right, and as promised, today we are focusing on the root, which is, in my opinion, one of the most important energy centers. They're all important, but this one rules all of the other ones. And if the root is out of balance, it is very difficult to feel balanced and aligned in our upper chakras. And actually, people who connect very easily to the spiritual realm and can do astral traveling, but that have a weak root, can develop mental illness and can develop what we would call in our society being cuckoo, being crazy, because they're not grounded, they're not connected to our physical plane, to the Pachamama, to the earth. So what are the organs that are ruled by the root chakra? So you can see here in our little chart that there's the testicles for men, the kidney, and the spine. So the spine, which goes all the way up to the head and contains the bone marrow. And these are all ruled by the kidney in the end. So in traditional Chinese medicine, you will see that the kidney here is the ruler of water, and it rules our reproductive system and the fluids in the body. So all our bodily fluids. So for the women, it would be our cervical fluids before having our period, during our period, the blood. And for men, there would be semen. So anything that has to do with fertility comes from the kidney here. So it would also touch upon the sacral chakra if we look in terms of energy, but in terms of the organs, the element, and the emotion related to it, it would be fear. Fear, which is related to this. So you see how it's all connected? The root, having a roof over your head, feeling safe in your life, having enough money in abundance, feeling like you are loved and accepted and taken care of. And if you don't have that, you can be in fear and have issues with this. And this explains why there is so many problems in our society in terms of fertility. A lot of women are dealing with fertility issues, with long cycles, with period that is not stable and in a regular 28 to 35 day cycle. Some people like Ines and I who have dealt with PCOS, and now we understand the root cause of that, but it comes from feeling unsafe in your world, living in some kind of fear. And it's different for everybody, but this is a very good clue to start digging in your life and understanding where is this fear coming from, because even if you eat well, even if you do all the things that they tell you to do for PCOS and change your nutrition and buy all the expensive supplements, if the source of the fear is not taken away from your life, it will always come back. So what are the characteristics of the root? What does it mean? How can it manifest in your body in terms of symptoms, whether emotional or physical? And what does it affect physically in terms of your organs? I talked only about a few, but it touches upon more than that. So we'll go even deeper. So the root is represented by the color red. The mantra is Lam. The element is earth. The location is the tailbone from the spine, pelvic floor, first 3 vertebrae only. The animal chakra totem is the elephant, and the root is related to your childhood, so your prenatal essence and your genetics. This is important here. So prenatal essence communicated through the kidney, as I was saying before. So in traditional Chinese medicine, the kidney is the first organ of the cycle of all the organs that I've showed you in our previous slide here. So it all starts with this one when we are created as a few cells in the womb of the mother. So everything that she has been experiencing in terms of her sexuality, in terms of her fertility, that rules the water, the emotions, the stress, the anxiety, all these things, is going to be passed through the prenatal essence in the kidney. And we carry that even as little babies. So knowing this is important because you can be aware if you see patterns in your family with these things, you can know where it's coming from. What are the emotions and symptoms related to the root chakra? So there could be anxiety, feeling threatened, difficulty at making decisions, relying on feedback a lot, uncertainty, feeling preoccupied, hypochondria, paranoia, nightmares, depression, anger, resentment, obsession with money, career, and material possessions, feeling like you're lacking in your life. What are the physical symptoms of an imbalanced root chakra? So maybe a sore lower back, low energy levels, poor focus, cold extremities, colon problems, digestive discomfort, bladder problems, elimination problems, legs and feet issues, eating disorders, and in men, prostate problems. There could even be diarrhea, constipation. Those are other symptoms that are ruled by the root. So we're going to take a little pause here just for you to sit with this. And I want you to take a moment to close your eyes and ask yourself, am I experiencing any of this? And go into your gut and your root and ask your root if it feels safe, if it feels nurtured, if it feels like it has everything that it needs to be happy. And you can know if your body is happy or not and feel a smile or joy or happiness, little butterflies in your root, or feeling some tension, contraction, some fear, some anger, some insecurity, discomfort. And ask yourself if you're feeling connected to this physical reality. Do you feel like you belong on this physical earth? Do you feel connected to Pachamama, to Mother Earth, Gaia? Do you feel the flow, the energy, the water of the earth flowing into your body, into your womb, into your ovaries, uterus? Can you feel the connection? In the blood in your veins? And you don't need to share with me in the chat if you don't feel like it, but if you want, I will be happy to hear you. And if you have any questions, I can answer them with great pleasure. And this is really an energy center that affects most people on this planet in our society. So there's really nothing wrong with feeling like there could be an imbalance there. It's absolutely normal, especially with the standards of society that we live in and with a fast-paced lifestyle and work that is very demanding and that goes against our cyclical nature as well. So it's very normal to experience these things, but not to worry, because there are ways to work around this and to feel good and safe in our body and in our life. So in terms of organs affected by an imbalanced root chakra, the adrenal glands could also suffer from an imbalance in this energy center. The colon, the kidneys, the skeleton, so the bones, the muscles, arterial blood, especially the left chamber of the heart, which carries the oxygen and nutrients into the body tissues. So you see how it can really be generalized if it's not taken care of properly and soon enough. So the adrenal glands, I guess you can see here that there's something that has to do with stress and anxiety. The adrenals is what rules our level of cortisol in the body, which rules the stress. If you're going to be in fight or flight, or if you're going to be regulated in your nervous system. So if your root is not safe, dysregulated. And again, I will give you tools later on to work on that, but this is what it means. So if you, for example, are trying to reach a new level of expansion in your life, and you're working on a big project and you're excited about it, but let's say you're lacking money, you're lacking abundance, and it makes you feel unsafe and stressed and constantly in fight or flight. it's going to be very hard to reach that goal. So that's why in what I do with the coaching in Soul Purpose Remembrance, where I help people transition from their day job to their purpose and the career that they love doing and focus on their gifts, well, I always recommend that they find a source of income that can help to sustain them and support them during that transition so that they feel safe in their life. So how to balance that chakra? How can you balance the root? There are multiple ways of balancing the root. And as I was saying at the very beginning of this call today, we are energy, frequency, vibration. And you can work with energy, frequency, and vibration to balance your chakras. So of course, you can recite mantras. Mantras are some chants that you can do, and it vibrates in your throat, in your belly, and you can send the vibration even in certain places in your body. So the mantra for the root is Lam. So you can say it Lam, and you feel the vibration in your body, and this is supposed to help balance this chakra. Meditation and affirmations. So grounding yourself by reconnecting to the energy of the universe, or however you want to call the grand mystery of life, God, Mother Nature, Pachamama, spirit of the universe. Trust in nature and into the universe that it will provide. So trust and not to be in fear, and try to feel supported. Something I like to do when I meditate, when I'm stressed or anxious, I visualize the universe as two hands, and I'm sitting in the hands, and I feel supported, and it's not going to drop me. I trust. As it does for all living animals, all living beings, so animals and plants, they are fully supported by life, by nature, and they're never necessarily afraid that life is gonna abandon them. They have different types of fears, and that's where fight or flight comes from, is from our animalistic instincts, but not about money or these kind of things. So while meditating, you can focus on feeling the cold air entering in your nostrils and the warm air on your lips. This is very grounding because you're present. You're just focusing on feeling the sensations of your body. You're not in your thoughts or in your head. There are yoga practices that you can do, so specific yoga postures that you can do for the root to stimulate this energy center. You can do some sound healing, of course, and again, we're talking about vibrations and frequencies with the bowls, crystal bowls or brass bowls. There's so many types of sound healing tools that you can use, and every sound, every frequency has a different purpose and works on something different in your body. Acupuncture, which is one of my favorite modalities. So certain energy points in your body can be blocked with crystallized energy. The chi can't flow properly in your body, and acupuncture helps to open and unlock these energy centers and energy to flow. And if you have ever had acupuncture treatments, you will see and notice that sometimes when a needle is placed in a certain place of your body, you'll feel it in your feet or in your hand or in your face because everything is connected. Chiropractic, so we talked about it a little bit earlier, but working on the skeletal system. You can have stored emotion even in your skeletal structure. And you'll see videos even online where people sometimes have adjustments from a chiropractor and they'll start crying or screaming, and there's like a release that is being done. And this is what we want. Of course, there's nutrition, which is one of the most popular modalities. Even in the Western culture, people focus a lot on food, on diets, but there's very much controversy on this topic. And the best, as we were stressing yesterday, focusing on, is your constitution. So respecting your constitution and not falling into trends, because not everything is good for everyone or every trend works. So here I have a few examples of foods that are good for your root, but again, not to be taken too seriously depending on your constitution. So carrots, black soybean, black sesame seeds, turnips, radishes, beets, onion, meat and eggs if you do eat animal protein. Herbs and spices, you have dandelion, burdock root, ginger root, cloves, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha not to be taken before bed, even though it reduces stress and anxiety, it energizes. So maybe you won't be able to go to bed. Rosemary, hot and spicy food like cayenne, pepper, paprika, chives, horseradish. So any herb or spice or food that has earthy taste or grounding quality. So you can look at things that even are roots or look like roots. So turmeric, all of these good things. And another modality is breath. So adrenal breathing, a breathing exercise that reduces stress and enhances relaxation. So there's multiple techniques out there. You can choose one that works for you, that you love, and they all have different purposes. And Wim Hof is a very well-known person and pioneer in this modality. So breath work. But there's a lot of somatic practices that involve breath that are very different from what Wim Hof does, which is more into hyperventilating. And the last one that I have here, and again, these are a few ones, but there's more. Even Natalie mentioned some at the beginning of this call. So journaling. Journaling is extremely good for the root. It helps you to slow down and to be present and to get out of your head and just write whatever is on your heart, on your chest, and that you feel like you need to let go. It's another way of releasing emotions on paper. It is one of the best ways because therapy is great, but you might be censoring yourself subconsciously. So journaling is really writing to yourself without any censorship. So to recap very quickly and to make this super simple, everything that has to do with the root and balancing it is in presence. So slowing down, reconnecting to your feminine and just being, taking a step back and just appreciating the stillness of time and of your day. And you'll see that as you slow down, you have more time and you can be less stressed. And you probably notice that when you're in traffic or rushing, it seems that like you're wasting more time than if you were doing things in a calm way. So going back to the body, the physical, the tangible, as we were saying earlier, so dancing, walking, listening to music, especially music that has a low bass like the drum. This is very grounding, very soothing, and it reproduces the heartbeat. Spending time with loved ones, having a good laughter, getting out of your head. These, if you can remember one thing from today in the root, this is what you need to remember. It does not have to be complicated or fancy or expensive. Spend time with people that you love. Don't be in your head. Don't allow things to stay stuck in your body. All right, so this is an interesting chart. You probably have seen it before. If you haven't, I'll explain a little bit what it's all about. So this is the emotional guidance scale, and you have the upward spiral and the downward. The upward are the emotions that are considered positive. So contentment, hopefulness, optimism. When you'll see like, cute, positive, motivational, inspirational quotes on Instagram, usually they focus on this. And then you have the downward spiral, which goes into pessimism, disappointment, doubt, guilt, worry, discouragement, anger, revenge, rage, insecurity, and fear, grief, and depression, which is the lowest that you can go in the scale. So if you find yourself here, try to do something not to stay there too long. And you'll see I'm not talking about escaping your emotions, but not to linger there too much, because it's not going to help you. Your reality is going to be impacted by this. So you create your reality. You attract what you are, as above, so below. Talking bad about yourself, being in fear and anger will bring you physical imbalance in the organs, tissues, skeletal structure, and in your outside world as well. So if things are not going well in your life, if you just lost your job or your boyfriend or whatever, things are not going well, maybe look at what emotion you're in? What are you cultivating in your life at the moment? So here's what I was saying about not being in toxic positivity. I'm not talking about avoiding or dismissing our emotions, which is called, in other words, spiritual bypassing. So like a hierarchy, and thinking that some emotions are better or more enlightened than others. Maybe you'll feel judged sometimes by some people because you're not in love and joy and peace all the time, but that's what we chose to experience here as a human being. We came here not to experience only love and joy and peace, because otherwise you would not have chosen to be here. When we die, when we experience an altered state of consciousness experience, we experience joy and love and peace and surrender, because we are not in the physical, but in this reality we are, and we chose to be here. So we need to learn how to love and embrace all these emotions, acknowledge them, love them, see them for what they are, and let them go. So just to accept and embrace the full spectrum. Once you let go, though, you go back to your practices to go into something that is healthier for you and that will bring you positivity and good things in your life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So the ultimate secret, if we could resume and wrap up in this whole training into one sentence, would be: release what no longer serves you. Surrender and let go. Because trapped emotions in the body crystallize, they harden, and they become cysts, tumors, cancers, and more. And this is not made up. This is not conspiracy theory. This is the truth. It is what happens in our body when we don't speak our truth, when we stay in fear, in anger, when we're jealous of some people around us, when we're always in fight or flight. It crystallizes, and at first, if we're lucky, we catch it early, we can take care of it and escape this. But some people, they wait so long that they wake up one day and they are diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer. So we don't want to get there. So chiropractors help with trapped emotions in the skeleton structure. Sound healing clears stuck emotion in energy channels, as well as Qigong and breath work, cardio exercise too. Exercising is really important to release the overload of energy. Some people, they're so hyper, and as we were saying yesterday in the masculine and feminine, yin and yang, if we have an overload of masculine energy, it shows as heat in the body and acne and red face, red eyes. But if you're able to release through a healthy outlet, this is no longer the case. So for some people, especially Aries and people who have these placements in their Mars and all, it's important to release the overload of energy. So emotions are energy in motion, free flow of energy in all our channels, in our physical, spiritual, and mental body. Energy in motion. So ask yourself every single day when you wake up, well, first of all, you'll say, today is a good day. This is the first thing. But ask yourself, is energy flowing in motion in my life, in my body? Is it? Or is there resistance somewhere? Resistance in my relationships, resistance in my workplace, resistance in my nutrition, in my values. Am I living according to what I want in my life? Am I practicing what I preach? And we are getting to the little surprise for today, which is a little Pisces ritual, grounding foot massage. So we're focusing on the root, on the physical, on the tangible physical body, our beautiful vessel, giving it love and care. And why a foot massage? Because Pisces is the ruler of our feet. So we're going to give love to our feet. And as we were saying yesterday, it's not always that we give love to every part of our body, but why not? Our feet allow us to stand all day, to walk, to go places. We got to thank them. And they have a map in there ruling so many important things in our body. So why not give it some love and stimulate everything all at once? So If you have an oil, a cream, something that you can put on your body that you love, that smells good to you, or unscented, whatever you like better, you can go get that. I don't know if you have it already because I mentioned it in the chat earlier, but you can take a few seconds to go and grab that, and we will take a few minutes and I'll guide you through a little mindfulness meditation, and we will massage our beautiful feet. So I will just go grab my oil for a minute, and we can be here back in like 2 minutes, if that's good for you. You can just let me know in the chat, like here or something when you're back. Okay, so we're back, we're ready. So sit comfortably and start by simply observing your feet. And if you have thoughts of judgment, telling yourself, oh my God, I have some hairs on my toes, or I didn't cut my nails, allow the judgment, allow those thoughts, and let them go, because we don't want to store any emotions in our body. We're simply observing here. And you can start sending love to your feet and thinking of all the beautiful things they allow you to do. And think of all the places where you went, and it's your feet that allowed you to walk these soils. Remember all the beaches where you walked in the sand, roads, maybe some rocks that hurt your feet sometimes, or the grass, how it feels. You can even close your eyes if you want for a minute. How did it feel to walk in the grass, feeling the cold sensation of grass? Maybe wet even, a morning grass with mist. Walking at the beach in the water and feeling the water going up and down your ankles and your feet that are sinking in the sand as the waves go and come on the beach shore. Walking on very hot streets in the summer, burning your feet and jumping because it's too hot. And think of times where maybe here in Canada or in some cold places you had to wear socks or boots or shoes, and maybe your socks were gliding and sliding inside your boot and shoes and it felt uncomfortable. Remember all these moments of awareness that you've had with your feet. And you can take your oil And you can start with one feet and you'll do the other one after. And you can look at the little map we have at the screen. And you don't need to focus on one area. You can really just do this in full mindfulness, presence, just enjoying the feeling of your hands on your feet and the pressure. Maybe this doesn't happen often and your feet are happy at the moment. But I want you to keep in mind that the map is there in case you feel some tension or something different in a specific spot of your foot that you're massaging at the moment. And you can look at what it means. What is it? Take all the time that you want and need for this. If you feel ready, you can do the other foot. If you want to spend more time on this one, you're welcome to do so. Remember to breathe as you're doing this. And you can even notice if some sensations are only in one foot, not on the other one, or if you have sensitivity at the same spot in both feet. Whenever you're done, and if you're not done, you can keep going, but I'll give you the instructions for after. You can sit in a comfortable position and feel the happiness and the gratitude that your feet have for you right now, to acknowledging them, to giving them love, attention, care. And dive into yesterday's meditation that we did with Ines and remember maybe where your body wanted you to bring awareness to. Maybe you felt some tension, contraction, or joy in certain places in your body. And now think of the practice we just did on our feet. And was there any place where you felt tension? Or maybe you felt like you needed to spend more time massaging and it felt good. And now I want you to think of what's going on in your life right now. In your friendships, in your love life, whether you're single or with someone, with a partner. How are you feeling in this aspect of your life? About yourself, self-love. your finances, your physical health, level of energy, how you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling, your career, your work. Think about all of that and ask yourself, where has it not been going so well lately? How does it make me feel? Where do I have tension in my body? What are the physical manifestations? Maybe you started having skin irritation, rashes, dryness, acne, eczema, rosacea somewhere, hair loss, shortness of breath, anxiety, loose stools, constipation. Dehydration, dark urine, trouble sleeping. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you feel like unmuting and turning on your camera or sharing in the chat how you felt, what is your takeaway? Maybe if you have some insight on something that's going on and that you want to dive deeper, look into it.
So I thought I would share a little bit before I start typing.
Yes.
My left foot is definitely more affected than the left. I noticed the heart part, the bladder, the spine, and it's something else, but I can't remember right now. They were more painful. In the other one, it was not so much, I would have to say, and the sinuses. So this is really interesting. I would say it makes sense, like the spine especially, because I've been working a lot at the renovation, and the bladder because I haven't been drinking enough water, because I always get invited for coffees or something. It all does make sense, yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad that you shared. I'm so happy that you were able to get all of that just from this experience, because everything you're telling me is all related and makes a lot of sense. And, you know, working hard physically and giving your time, and the spine is not only physically like weight lifting and the movement, but it's also the weight you carry on your back, on your shoulder in life, the amount of responsibility that you have, deadlines to meet. This is the spine as well. And then the bladder and the spine, they connect. Your bladder is in your sacral, and it governs all your urinary system, and the womb and the uterus and the kidney as well. And this is all the receiving in your life. So our sacral is the receiving. It's our feminine energy, being in receiving mode, where we are in flow, where we're able to create and do things out of a place of love and alignment. And the left foot is the receiving side of your body. It's your feminine side. So this to me makes only sense. Like it makes so much sense. And your heart and sinuses are also connected. The heart rules joy and shock in life. Sinuses, they're also connected to your lungs and sadness and depression. So maybe there's something that you can look into in terms of love. Maybe it's with self-love, or maybe with someone else, but it could make sense with the whole receiving thing and being in the feminine. So I don't know if that speaks to you, but just from these few cues that you've given, to me, opens my eyes a lot on some things that could be looked into even further.
Actually, you are right. When I was in Carpathos, where your friend also was and did her training, my teacher, he does a lot of energetic work and cleansing. And he told me most of my chakras were not aligned. They were more on the right side because I am more of a giver instead of a receiver. I was more in my masculine energy instead of my feminine energy. And my sacral chakra was at all not visible. Like you could not see it. And it does make sense. The guilty pleasures, addictions, and overall, you know, I think I told you at some point I had a lot of issues with, you know, vaginal and yeah, difficulties
Yes.
with the sexual life. So it does make sense, yeah.
And our bodies are so beautiful for letting us know all of this and showing us through physical manifestations so that we can notice it, become aware, and do something about it. And just being aware and you sharing it openly, vulnerably, is part of the healing journey. You're already, I would say you're accomplishing almost 50% of the work of what can help you by voicing it, by acknowledging it, being aware of it. You're letting go. You're letting go and not holding in emotions or suppressing anything. So I thank you to do this for yourself, and I thank you for sharing and for being so open about it. It's inspiring, and I hope that everybody that is going to watch this recording maybe is going to feel helped by your testimonial here. It's so important.
Thank you too.
And Natalie, so good. I'm glad you liked it. If ever you want to share something else, I'm so happy to have you here and hear you.
It's been a long time since I had a foot massage or thought of giving myself a foot massage, and it was really good to follow the map. And I too had some areas that were more sensitive than others. Like it's not really mentioned there, but I guess it kind of goes with the pelvis and sciatic. On my right foot, it's very dry at the bottom of the heel, but not my left foot. So that's funny. And then the kidney area was quite sensitive and up along the spine, and having some sleep issues. So around the toes, you know, the tips where the brain is and stuff. I know that because I've done reflexology before. So it was it's interesting and it's so fun. It's kind of like a game.
Yeah.
Like a map, you know.
Exactly. It's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so interesting. I'm so glad that you saw like the benefit of taking that time for you and giving yourself love like that. And there's probably a little bit of the things that Nina said that would apply on your end too, with the kidney and, you know, the feminine and the receiving. And this is something that most women deal with, and especially with our economy, the way our system is built. It's difficult to always be in our surrender and our flow and our divine feminine essence, but it can affect the kidney for sure. So that makes sense. And then the brain and the sleep also relates a lot with that, with the kidney and the liver also impact our sleeping patterns, and whether we have dreams that are pleasant, unpleasant, weird, or scary. This can also be ruled by these organs. So very interesting. And thank you so much for sharing as well.
When you were talking and sharing that, something came up about water and you know, hydration, because like with the kidneys and that and the cleansing, right, the detoxifying the body, and maybe not drinking more water than the body needs at the time. Not about drinking enough water, but the body needs more water.
Yes.
And also we just came out of the full moon, right? Well, we're coming out it's a few days now. So I have this thing I call now, I found a pattern and I call it full moon insomnia. It's like I go like I'm so exhausted, but I can't sleep for a few days. So until the full moon passes, and the moon, you know, water, and it's kind of all related. I don't know, this came to my head when you were talking.
Yeah, it really is. And there's multiple things that can probably impact that. There's for sure the moon and the water, even on the planet, it's affected but even dehydration, as you're saying, it's not necessarily giving the body more water, but it could be even retaining the water in the body.
Yeah.
So maybe like on the nutritional aspect, some teas, they make us go pee way more, like green tea, black tea, everything that has caffeine, basically, like coffee as well, matcha. And drinking a lot of these instead of plain water can make us go more at the bathroom, and it can surcharge and overwork our kidney and our liver as well. And there's even on mineral level, some minerals that we're lacking in our water, and they help retain water in our cells. So they sell little bottles where you have all these minerals where you can actually put in a regular tap water or filtered water, even much better. And this makes you not feel thirsty all the time because your body can actually hold on to it. And something that Ines was telling me as well in terms of water is that as human beings, we absorb the water in the fruits and vegetables better than the water from springs and the water that we drink on a daily basis. It's not the same water, it's not H2O, what's in fruits and vegetable. So eating all our leafy greens, all the bok choy, the broccoli, these beautiful vegetables, zucchini, this is a much better way to actually absorb the water and the minerals that our body needs to function properly. So sometimes, we we forget these little greens, but they're super important. Nina has a question on the picture. The right picture has a blue line across the thalamus. What does this represent? I see the same color of the blue under the toes, but I can't see which organ is. Blue line across the thalamus.
I will show you which one I mean. So if you see a picture, you can see this red that goes across both feet.
Yeah.
The thalamus. On the right picture, there is a line that goes right across this red, line.
The green, like the little, or the blue.
The blue, exactly. This blue has the exact same color as the blue under the toes and the blue that's on the bigger toe, like a small dot. But what does this represent? Because it's not the same blue color as the one for the pancreas, for example. It's a different blue.
You're right. I actually don't know. That's a very good question. There's more maps than this one. Maybe there's a map that would have this part, but I've never actually looked into this one. So that's a good question.
That's what I'm here for.
Maybe Natalie knows if she did some reflexology in the past, but it's a very good question. Now you're making me curious.
Unfortunately, no, I don't know either. But you're very observant, Nina. That's like, wow.
I'm usually the person in the group that asks the weirdest questions.
Well, we need people like you to. So maybe that's gonna bring you into a whole new rabbit hole, and you'll let us know about it.
Yes, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I also enjoyed it. I also became aware of some tension in my feet and sent love, and I really practiced what I preached today with all of you, and what I was saying at the very beginning, of being aware that when we're medicine women or on the path of it and interested by it, we can want to heal the world and forget about ourselves. So I'm glad that I was able to do this with the two of you today. Feel very privileged.
Well, thank you, Camille, for putting this together. And I feel Ines was with us, even though she wasn't physically there. She's with us in spirit. And just all the knowledge and the remembering, it's great because, like, honestly, I haven't been to my reflexologist in many years because she kind of changed like paths right now. So my feet just remembered that, and it's just so nice to get the exchange and be with both of you here today.
Thank you so much. This means a lot. And yeah, in the end, we're all there to remind one another. It's all wisdom that we have inside of us, and we're not necessarily learning new things, but we're sharing and we're being there to be reminders and keep accountability. I had a great time. Thank you, Nina. I'm so happy you did. Honestly, this makes my day. This is why I do what I do. I love it. Passionate about it. So you're making this possible for me, and I can't thank you enough for that. And to finish, simply so that also the people who will be watching the recording, I'm just gonna remind all of you the possibilities to learn more and to dive deeper into all of these modalities and practices that we saw a little bit over the 2 days, but we can go more in depth. So the container for the group program is 3 months, 12 weeks. And the process, as we saw over the past 2 days, the diagnosis, the constitution, and medicine women, and you have all the details of what we go in depth in the yesterday call and today's. And finally, the promotion for the people, special people, VIP people who watched this masterclass. And this is a special offer that I'm giving you. If you feel called to, it's a single session. So this is only to meet once. It's not a 12-week program. So instead of 150, it's 80 to get together. And finally, if you want to chat with me, if you want to talk about what you're going through more specifically, whether it be about this group program for the medicine women or for the soul purpose remembrance, which I teach also for soulpreneurs, for people who want to work in alignment with their purpose, with their mission, and get closer to their gifts. If you do know your purpose or not, I offer support and mentorship containers for soulpreneurs, so for men, women who are in a quest to work in alignment with their purpose and share their gifts with the world. So you can contact me, you know how to reach out to me, and we just arrange a time and date and get to talk about you, your goals, and what are your challenges at the moment, where you see yourself in the next year. And that concludes today's day 2 of the masterclass. I thank you again so much for being here, and I'll be sending the recording and everything in an email later today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very, very much. I'm really happy that I was able to join you.
Me too. Me too. It was aligned. Divine timing. The universe conspired to make you free and available both days.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So have a good day, and I'll see you soon.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You too.